Well, Austin, it's a pleasure to have you, man. Welcome to episode 3 of the CEO Under 30 podcast. For those who don't know Austin Wickham, he's a little bit different than my typical guest because he does not own a business, but
Yeah.
he's a senior project manager at Red Rock Roofing. He's been in roofing for what, 5 years now?
Yeah, 4 to 5 years around there.
The reason I wanted to interview Austin today and just learn a little bit more about who he is and what's created his success is I partner with a lot of roofing companies. That's kind of the nature of my business.
Mhm.
And in a year without a lot of hail, I've seen a lot of roofers struggle. I would say a majority
It's
of roofers
crazy.
struggle. And throughout that whole time, I've just seen you thrive. I think you're on pace to do almost $5 million in
Yeah.
roofs this year, which for those of you that don't know much about roofing, that's a huge, huge accomplishment. Um, you're crushing it, man. I'm excited to learn from you and just kind of learn what's created some of that success.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of just get into where it all started. You've been in roofing for about 5 years.
Yeah.
Where were you before roofing?
Yeah. Thanks again for having me on, man.
Yeah.
2019 is when I graduated from Prospect Ridge Academy. Right after graduation, I tried Front Range Community College in August. Just didn't work out. Something, I wasn't passionate about, school or anything like that. Ended up meeting my lady in December around that time into 2020. Ended up finding out we were having a kid within 2 weeks of dating. So pretty crazy, right? Um, Life was changing. Parents got mad. Worked at Amazon for a while. Didn't know what to do, man. My mind was, I'm having a kid. I have no money. I'm living in a room. Like, I need to get myself together. Later that year, I ended up applying on Indeed, which is crazy. I'm the only Indeed hire that Red Rock has ever hired besides, family or friends. Um, got into the roofing business that way. Started off where there was no hailstorms for over 4 years.
Wow.
So I was knocking in trailer park neighborhoods, and I wasn't a fan of that. Uh, Obviously, a lot of roofers knock. Was it was a brutal time. There was no hail for 4 years, so it was a complete drought. Red Rock's model at the time, there was only three of us, was to go after realtors,
Mhm.
HOAs, anything that could create business without trying to door knock. We're still a door knocking company, but we're not really consistent at that. Obviously, if a hailstorm hits, we're going to door knock, right? But we're able to rely on partnerships, relationships that have been built throughout the community. So that's how it got started. And then I actually just started social media, I would say only a year ago, and it's just been a fantastic turnout for me.
That's awesome, man. So I want to backtrack again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, you started dating your girlfriend,
Yeah.
and shortly after, she got pregnant.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what shifted for you because you were working at Amazon.
Yeah.
Did you do well in high school?
Yeah, I was okay.
Okay.
I was afloat, right?
Yeah.
I played sports, played
Okay.
varsity soccer throughout the years.
Yeah.
I was more of a sports guy.
Yeah.
Tried to take education to, I did what I had to get past and graduate, right? That was, I think, a massive turning point for me because I was like, okay, I can't survive $14 an hour to provide for a baby, and I got to move out and stuff like that. So I was like, it was literally like something kicked in, and I tell everyone having a kid does something to you. So it was like, okay, I need to provide. I need to step up my game. And I just applied 30 different places of sales jobs because I was like, you know what? I'm good with people. I love to talk with people. And, I don't have the resume to show it. So I ended up getting a call from Red Rock. The interview process was super easy. I didn't even think I'd get it. I dressed up in like a suit. And, most roofers don't come in with, blue pants and all that. So they ended up giving me the job. And I swear it's changed my life. That's why I'm super loyal to Red Rock. I don't see myself going anywhere.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've seen sales create a ton of abundance for a
Yeah.
bunch of people. I remember my first sales job. I I walked in there and and I think there was probably 20 people in the room.
Mhm.
5 of them made more money than doctors did
Yeah.
with no schooling. Some of them went to college, but
It's
they
crazy.
weren't using their degrees.
Yeah.
And this was a solar sales position, and I was just baffled. I think that's what really opened my mind to like, wow, you can create a lot of abundance if you're willing to learn,
Mhm.
work hard, kind of master your craft, really just understand people.
Yep.
I think that's a lot of what sales is.
Yeah. It takes a while, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna do it with, in the first year, right?
Yeah.
It took me to this day, I'm still learning, right? I
Yeah.
still haven't mastered my class, and I'm at 5 years, so it's like I'm gonna continue to do the same, process over and
Yeah.
over again every day. So,
I also like what you said too, how having a kid really made you step up.
oh yeah,
For me, I always tell my now wife that she's helped me a lot with my success directly. She helps me out with my social media, and she's helped me out with organizing my business because I'm not naturally an organized person. Um, but she's also helped me a lot indirectly. And what I mean by that is like the second I knew I was going to propose to her, I was like, I got to lock in.
yeah,
I've always been good at sales and I've been really good at coasting.
mm,
Hey,
yeah,
I can make a lot of money working 20 hours a week, not having to work that hard. Maybe take some time off, take a lot of vacations. Um, but I knew when I proposed to her, I was like, hey, I have to create more abundance. I can't just keep coasting.
yeah.
Um, so I think that's awesome, man. It sounds like I'm sure your daughter is just a huge blessing in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I couldn't see my life without her. Like every weekend, we go garage selling Saturday morning with her family. Like it's just, I don't know. It just did something to me. I became a better person. The first year when she was born, it was pretty hard. Like, I was not a great dad that I was today.
Mm,
And I look back and I'm like, what can I do differently? And every day is a new day, right? So,
yeah. And I think that's super important, man,
yeah,
because life's all about growth.
excellent.
Like I always talk about starting a business, you don't have it all figured out. Um, you kind of just have to pivot
Yeah.
and learn along the way. And too many people won't start something
Mm,
because the fear of failure.
yep.
Um, and you have to move past that and you just have to learn, you have to fail, and you have to grow from it. So it sounds like that's really what you've done.
Yeah, I failed a lot, and dude, I fail every single day. I just got to get better at it, right? I got
Yeah,
to figure out an alternate way to get better at that certain thing. So
that's
I think
awesome.
being a father figure has really grew me into the person I am today, especially with like roofing and sales. Like I have that more compassion side. It's not always about the numbers. Like my goal is literally to be a community guy. I was born in Broomfield. I grew up in Broomfield. So my goal is literally to meet everyone in Broomfield and see how I can give back. I'm actually starting a super cool thing. Every 2 weeks, I'm buying groceries for a family in need until the end of December. So again, if anyone knows anyone, I was able to bless a family 2 days ago. Bought over $350 worth of groceries. The mom and the son and the father were just living in a 1 bedroom. So I was in a position like that. So it's like, what can I do now to get back to the community?
Yeah.
So
Would you say being able to give back is a huge driver for you?
yeah, most definitely. I look back to, where I started. I was just a person that couldn't make ends meet. And I think now that, it was a blessing that I can give back to communities. I did a food drive about a month ago with Brian Prescott for the Erie Food Chamber or the food bank. We went in there, no food in there. We were able to fill the whole Erie food bank. So it's just a blessing to give back, man. And I wish more people did that, right? There's some business owners out there that, hold their money. They go on a bunch of trips. I'm all about just giving back, man. I go on one trip a year. Seriously. That's because I don't like to travel, but I also like to, stay.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing about creating abundance is
Yeah.
being able to give back.
Mhm.
Like for me personally, like I don't know, buying a truck or
Yeah.
whatever, like it's a feeling for a very short period of time, but when
Correct.
you can make an impact in somebody's life that maybe they don't have the opportunity to do that,
Yep.
I think it's huge, and I think that's a big driver for why I do what I do as
Yeah.
well.
It's the best feeling in the world, man. Like you could buy a Rolex truck and stuff and it, feels good for a couple hours and then you're like, oh, what else can I do? But I
Yeah,
think helping families, especially building a business, my own personal brand. I wouldn't say I, build Red Rock, but I'm building my own personal brand through Red Rock so I can, become this guy in the community that people are like, "Oh, you know Austin? Not Austin the roofer, but do you know Austin?"
so I want to get into kind of the start. So you started with Red Rock in 2021.
Yep.
Did it always click for you? Like from the start, was it just like, hey, I can be good at this?
Yeah.
Or did you
No.
kind of suck at first?
Dude, my first day on the job, I came in short shorts, Nike shoes, earrings, and just a white shirt. Like I said, I was still a kid. I hadn't grown up to, what I look like today. And it's like I go on a job site, Steve and Jim are like, dude, there's no way this guy's gonna last. Like they even told me that. Second day I came in, my owners, Steve and Jim are like, hey man, like let's get some boots on, let's get some cowboy boots. Let's get you polished up. I finally got polished up. And that took a bit, it's like it's a whole nother game. Roofing is like, a young, I was 21, 22. Not a lot of homeowners trust young people like that. So you have to kind of, mature while you go. So no, it did not click right away. Not at all.
Yeah. And when would you say everything clicked? Because I know
Yeah.
you got into roofing in 2021.
Yep.
We get a big storm in 2023.
Yep.
Had you kind of had some momentum and success leading up to that point, or was that the turning point for like, hey, I can really do this and
Yeah.
I can do it well?
I think I was doing video content back then before that massive Erie hailstorm. So I think it kind of all wrapped together. I think, I was still a little slow, but that massive, hailstorm that came through Erie, Frederick, and Tacoma really, hit that turning point, I think. But if I hadn't done, the video content before that, I don't think I'd be where I'm at today.
Mhm.
I think 3.5 years of that consistent video, Facebook, one-to-ones, all that wouldn't be, if I didn't do that today.
Yeah.
So I'd say, yeah, it could be a pretty huge turning point.
Yeah.
But any hailstorm's a turning point, right? For roofers, that's a money generated. But
Yeah.
if you can not rely on a hailstorm and rely on the community, I think that's 10 times better. And
Yeah.
I've actually done better this year without a hailstorm than most roofers. So, and I love that.
It's your best year yet.
It's my
'Cause
best year yet. Yeah.
wow.
Without the Erie hailstorm and all that, which we all make voodoo money during the Erie hailstorm. But literally all my referral partners are realtors, HOAs, and just the community members. And again, volunteering in Broomfield, that I've been doing has been a huge blessing. So
Yeah, I've noticed it doesn't take a rocket scientist to sell a roof
no.
in a hailstorm season. Because roof's a necessity. It
Yeah.
protects the rest of your home.
Mhm.
If your roof is compromised, then it's going to leak
Yep.
and it can create uh, issues with the whole structure of the
Yeah.
home. It can create mold. There's a lot of other issues that can be caused from your roof being compromised.
Yeah.
So a
No.
roof itself isn't that hard to sell. I think what's hard is to be able to do that when insurance doesn't cover it.
Yep. Retail
Um,
market.
and I think that's an area where I've really seen you thrive in this year. So I want to ask you, because again, I work with a lot of roofers,
Yeah.
and the overarching theme I've gotten from roofing companies this year is it's kind of been a struggle year.
Yeah.
It's been a year of like, hey, let's hope next year is better. Let's hope we get a storm next year. I hear that a lot. Where I just see you consistently signing contracts. I mean, I think you told me yesterday alone you sent out 13 estimates
Yeah.
for new roofs. You've got a huge $1 million project going on
Yeah.
right now as we speak.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think separates you when it comes to that? Like, what has Austin done that makes him successful in a year that's not
Yeah.
hail dependent?
I think honesty. I'm a super honest guy when it comes to inspecting roofs. If there's no damage, there's no need to try to get something out of it, right? Even if it's a minor repair, I'm not going to charge for it. I think again, growing in the community and developing myself, meeting with higher individuals, owners, trying to put myself in that position where I can learn from people that are successful has really taught me. Um, Again, I stopped partying. I stopped going out on Friday nights. I'm really dialed in, man. And I think, posting 2 videos a day, hanging out with my daughter, going to all these events really help. Not necessarily, a hailstorm's nice for us all, right? I would love a hailstorm, right? I think anyone would. But I think if I can survive without a hailstorm, like Red Rock's gonna thrive, and that's what we've done this year. Again, we're right up in line with like the top companies nationally. I think we're fourth in the region of like in the region of the West. So that's super cool. Again, we
Uh,
only have 7 sales guys, and we're growing every single year. Our processes are dialed in. So
yeah.
yeah,
I think processes are huge within a company.
yeah,
You don't need this 45-person team to
no,
run everything. If you have really dialed in systems, operations, I don't know, you can run a huge company
Yeah.
without a ton of people. And I see a lot of people just want to hire, hire, hire. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, they get a little bit of success and they hire.
Yeah.
And what happens when you do that is your overhead gets really high. And then where I've seen a
Yep.
lot of roofing companies struggle
So,
is they get their overhead so high because of the hailstorms.
yep.
But then you run into a year like this, and now they're stressing out because we don't have any hail,
Yeah.
and they have this huge high overhead.
Mhm.
Um, so it sounds like you guys have created a good culture within
Oh,
that.
we have zero turnover.
Yeah.
I don't think we've really fired anyone. The cool thing that I tell people is like when a hailstorm hits, roofers get super busy, right? And the realtor market is a big, big play for Red Rock. And even when we were super busy during the Erie hailstorm, we were still helping realtors. There was a lot of roofers out there like, oh no, we don't have time for you.
Mm.
And I heard it a lot like, oh, we can't do that. We have to, maximize on the hailstorm. We were still able to help those realtors. So those realtors were like, holy cow, these guys are managing a hailstorm. They're helping my clients out and getting roofs on. Like we were putting 9 roofs on a day. So it
Wow.
was insane of how much volume we were doing with 7 people. But again, we have a process where you have to work up to a senior role. You have project managers that manage projects that, go out and network. And then you feed the senior goes, closes the deal, tries to make a good relationship. So our processes are dialed in. We have zero turnover. And I truly believe we're the best company out there. And that's not with just price or value. It's just we're good, honest people.
I've seen it, man. I've seen it firsthand. I've been working with you for
Yeah.
a little while now, and I've worked with Red Rock as a company for a couple months now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've seen you guys have really good dialed in processes,
Yeah.
and so I can attest to that.
I appreciate that. And another thing is we don't take any down payment either. We're able to do the whole process. The homeowner, we do a walk around with them, and then after the job's completed, then they write us a check. So there's no 10% down, 20% down. There's no $300 for an inspection. It's free. So it's again, we're honest. We don't need that, quick $300 to do an assessment. Say your roof's fine. So I'm truly, Red Rock. Seriously, we have think we're a 8-year-old company, 9-year-old company, and it's just crazy how big we are with only 7 to 8 salespeople. It's
Wow.
insane. So, and that's Steve. Steve is the master behind that, and I just do what I'm supposed to do, man, and that's to promote Red Rock.
I love that. So during busy season, because we're kind of in that time frame
Yeah.
right now, and I know things are eventually going to start to slow down,
Yeah,
just because you can't roof
yeah,
a roof when
no,
it's snowing
a
outside.
blizzard outside.
Yeah, it's just not possible. So there's only so much you can do. But during busy season, what does like a normal day for Austin look like? Like, what are your habits
Yeah.
to create the consistency with volume?
Yeah. I try to set my alarm 5:45 in the morning, get up, read a little bit, make a coffee, drink a Celsius, as you all know. Big Celsius guy. Um, I was going to the gym with you for a bit, but I got so busy in the morning. I was like, I can't do this. So I'll send all my emails in the morning. I'll go out, schedule a bunch of one-to-ones that I've had the next day. That's from people that are liking my Instagram stories or Facebook or anything like that. Go meet them for a one-on-one coffee. Then I'll schedule my inspection. The nice thing, what I've done is I try not to go look at the roof. I have a couple of guys that are really dialed in and knows what hail is, what damage is. Should we file a claim? Should we not file a claim? Is it a 5-year cert? So what I feel like that I've created is I've given these guys, whatever I produce, I let them go out, do the inspection, and then I'll come in, meet with the homeowner, and then, walk them through the whole process. But that, when they're going out to inspect the roofs, it gives me time to do that networking. I'm able to go to events because I have these other guys that are going to go look at the roofs for me. So that's the day in the life. I work 13 to 14 hours a day, and then around 10 o'clock when I get home from a networking event or something like that, I'll do sports cards. I'm a big sports card guy. So,
Oh.
30 minutes of some free time.
What's the best sports card pickup you have right now?
I got a LeBron James rookie, man.
Wow.
So PSA 9, I'll keep that forever. I'll probably give it to my kid.
I was going
Can't
to
get rid
say
of that.
that sounds like a pretty hardcore investment.
Yeah.
I don't know much about sports cards, but I know PSA 9 is up there.
Yeah.
LeBron is a
I'll tell you what, I've met so many people in the sports card industry, and what I mean by that is they have a convention every month downtown Denver, and I've met so many roofers there, and I end up talking to them and connecting. And the cool thing about Red Rock is we have we can't go so low on a price, right? If the price is we can't beat it, then I'm gonna refer someone. So I have a couple of roofing
Mhm.
companies that I refer just because, we can't get that low. And sometimes homeowners, if they're paying retail, they money's a priority for them. So I'll pass them over to someone that can, compete with that and that I know that does good work. So, I try to make friends with roofers. Obviously, us roofing companies are fighting over business, but there's plenty of business out there.
Well, you said a lot of cool stuff that
Yeah.
I wanna go back and
Yeah, go
cover.
ahead.
So the first thing is, what do you feel like the importance of buying back your time is? Because it sounds like that's really what you've done,
Yeah.
is
Times.
your time is very valuable, and where your time is best spent is networking
Yep.
and meeting with people, creating relationships, not being up on roofs all the time.
Yeah.
Uh, and most roofers that I know and I
Yeah.
see, they're up on roofs all the time.
Yeah.
But you decided to, hey, even though this isn't my business, I'm going to treat it like my business and I'm going to buy
Correct.
back my time. When you made that shift, was that a huge, like, did that kind of
Oh,
propel your business to invest
yes.
into that?
Yeah, most definitely because obviously we pay the guys that go look at them, so we'll, give them some commission. And there's people out there that want to keep the whole commission to themselves. They're like, "Oh no, I want the whole commission. I don't want to send someone." But I think that's a big factor. Like I'm able to free up 2 to 3 hours of my time to create content, to create social media content, to meet with people. So I think, time of those 3 hours that I could give it to someone else, I'm able to, produce 10 times more.
Mm.
So
Yeah, it's a short-term sacrifice
yeah.
for long-term success.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
it's worked out
Yeah.
tremendous. And obviously, we train them. We get them trained up before we just send them on their own roof, because again, Red Rock's all about honesty. Like we're not going to tell you your roof's damaged when it's not damaged, right? When if we drive an hour and a half away, we're not going to charge you $150. I'll tell you what, I get so many calls from realtors that are like, "Do you charge for inspections?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Why are people charging for inspections?" Like, I'll never charge for an inspection, even if the roof is perfectly fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a volume game. You
Yeah,
know, you get up on enough roofs, you see enough stuff, and you are gonna eventually find something that
yeah,
is damaged.
exactly.
But and I notice this with business a lot. Too many people are too quick to just want to go straight for the sale,
Mhm.
but it's not always the best fit for people, and
Yep.
that's a big negative thing I've seen with the solar industry
Mhm.
because we detach and reset a lot of systems. We repair and troubleshoot a lot of systems. And I see some houses that I'm like, this house shouldn't even have solar on it. Or this customer shouldn't even
Yeah.
have solar. Like it financially just didn't make sense for them. But because people are so quick to
Yep.
get a sale, they kind of forget about what's the best interest of the customer.
Yep. It's like a solar panel on a old 3 tab.
Yeah.
Like, what are you
Oh
doing?
man, I've seen that way too many times. I've seen it way
Like,
too
what are
many
you
times.
doing, man? Um,
And then the other thing you said is 13, 14 hours a day.
yeah.
It's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
How I mean, do you experience any burnout from time to time?
I think I have a couple of moments where I crash out later at night, but, I wouldn't say I'm consistently, working 13 to 14 hours a day, but I'm doing something for 13 to 14 hours a day that is representing Red Rock. Either that's
Mhm.
liking people's posts, commenting, reposting stuff. Um, I don't think I've had burnout yet. I've been doing this for almost 4 to 5 years, and it's not a job anymore, honestly. I basically am, trying to develop business. There was someone that told me, we're not selling anymore. We're developing business partners, and I
Mm.
love that because right now I don't need to sell to make money. I just need to connect with people and be honest of who I am, and they'll use me regardless. So yeah, I don't think I've had any burnout.
Yeah.
I probably have, but
Yeah. Well, you're doing good, man.
yeah,
And I think it kind of seems like you're really just trying to keep momentum.
yes,
You don't want to stop because when you take a break or you take a step back,
mhm,
sometimes it's hard to get rolling again.
yeah,
And you just constantly keep momentum, whether it's, hey, sitting on the couch, I'm
yeah,
gonna send a couple DMs, I'm gonna like a couple posts. I'm
yep.
gonna I one thing I notice, you always reshare people's stuff.
Try to, yeah,
Um, and I love that because what I see with you is you lead with value.
mm.
Like, I don't even know how many introductions you've made for me with realtors and different people,
yeah,
that I could partner with. Um, but you never asked. You
yeah.
never said, "Hey man, who can you introduce me to?" You just lead with value. You're always liking people's stuff, sharing
Yeah.
people's stuff. and you don't ask for anything in return.
No.
Um,
It'll eventually come, right? I love, I love the coffee meetings, but I also love introducing people because I feel like that's one thing we lack in like a sales industry is like, hey, do you know this guy? Because we're always so focused on like, hey, do you know anyone that needs a roof? Or hey, do you know a real estate agent that doesn't have a roofer? I'm always like, hey, what can I do to grow your business? Like, is there someone in particular you really want to meet? Like a mortgage lender, a realtor, an HOA. So I think the one-on text intros are phenomenal. I love that because it's not just, hey, call him. It's, hey, this is Alex. Hey, this is Raquel. It's beautiful.
yeah, I love that, man. So why realtors? Like, I feel like you're very niche down
Yeah.
with wanting to network with realtors. I'm sure you network with other people,
Yeah.
like Mike Martinez.
Yeah.
There's other people in different industries, but
Hmm.
what you've niched down with is realtors.
Yeah.
That's your main focus. That's your target market.
Yep.
Talk to me about why realtors.
Well, it always comes up on the inspection report, right? When they have an inspector that comes out there, even with solar panels, right? There could be something wrong with it. So it's consistent business because the housing market never stops, right? There's always going to be houses for sale. People are always going to be buying. They always have an inspection process where, they send an inspector to look at everything and then, oh, the roof's a flag. So that's continuing business. And that's why with hailstorms, a lot of roofers, they all of a sudden they forget their power partners and go straight to where the money is in a neighborhood. And then that's when I can, grab those, realtors that have been forgotten because these roofers are so focused on, these neighborhoods. So realtor is consistent business and I love it. And yeah.
For me, one of my struggles with working with realtors has just been like creating awareness.
Mm.
Like they don't know that they need a partnership with me. They
Yeah.
know they need a mortgage lender.
Yep.
They know they need a title rep.
Yeah.
They know they need, an insurance guy. Shout out Noah Taxman.
Yeah. No
They,
attachment. Guys.
but they don't know they need a roofer. They don't
Yeah.
know they need a solar guy. Has your has a lot of your effort been just creating awareness for why they need a partnership with you, or do you feel like they kind of know you're just selling them on Austin?
I'm just there until they need me. I'll tell you what, it's pretty hard to, network with them. They're busy people, right? They have all kinds of people reaching out to them wanting to earn their business. But again, that's where social media and helping the community and showing your face a lot, eventually they will contact you. It's just a matter of when they need you. So I'm not going out there scheduling one-on-ones with them. I'm following them, liking their posts, reposting their posts, and I don't even know them, but it's going to help them gain business. And then eventually they'll see one of my posts, be like, oh, I actually have a roof issue on my newest listing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. One of my mentors taught me something early on about just top of mind awareness. You really want to focus on top of mind awareness because when somebody thinks of what I do, I want them to think of me first,
Correct.
and it sounds like you're really focused on top of mind awareness.
Yeah.
I just want when they need a roof, and I don't know when they're going to need a roof,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
eventually they're going to need a roof. We live in Colorado. There's a lot of hail out here, and
Yeah.
just weather is harsh in general.
Yeah.
Eventually they're going to need a roof, and they're going to call you because you've popped up on their feed
Yeah.
100 times. You've liked all their posts. Um,
And that's a lot of roofers, won't do that. And I honestly think it's coming around. I see roofers posting stuff that I'm posting, and I'm like, you know what? That's awesome. I'm not gonna approach them and block them. I'm like, dude, I want people to follow
Yeah.
what I'm doing because there's plenty of business out here. I'm not a greedy guy. There's so much potential clients out here where we can all feast on. So
Yeah. And not a lot of people think like that, man, especially at your age. I feel like most people have a scarcity mindset
mm,
where it's like they don't want to collaborate, they don't want to help take other people to the top.
yeah,
They're kind of just wanting to be scarce.
yep,
And I very much, and I can tell you as well, have an abundance mindset
yeah,
where, hey, there's plenty of room for other companies out there.
yep,
Do I want to be the best? Of course. Of course I want to be
of
the
course,
best.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I don't want other people to not see success. I think there's room for plenty of integral companies to see success.
yeah, totally,
So talk to me about networking.
yeah.
That's your bread and butter. That's something that Austin excels in. What would you say some key tips for networking are?
Um, I love chamber events. Like I'm part of the Broomfield Chamber. Shout out the Broomfield Chamber. Um, I kind of got away from the BNI and those smaller groups where it's like one individual for each trade because I was running into you're doing one-on-ones with the same person and then they would get mad if you like, networked with someone else and you have to pass referrals in that circle. So the chamber is basically there's so many people in the chamber. Literally every event I go to is there's a new person there. So it's like you're part of the community and you're meeting people that are part of that community. So I think any chamber event is just if you're not in a chamber, get in a chamber wherever you grew up in. That's probably the best. And then social media is a big factor. I try to post 3 to 4 times a day on Facebook, once a day on Instagram, and then stories out galore. And then what else? One-on-ones are good. I like coffee meetings. I would say chambers. I think chamber events are your key to get into success. Like seriously, it's done. That's how I got my $1 million job. That's how I've gotten majority of my referrals is just showing up to those community events with the chamber, those ribbon cuttings and all those.
Mm. Yeah, I see a lot of people like do BNI groups or things like that.
Yeah.
Why do you think what do you think is different about a chamber than a BNI group?
I don't want to hate on BNI, right? Everyone has their own networking. Everything works for everyone differently. But you pay BNI, a fee. I don't even know what it is, and you meet. You have 6 to 7 people. Unless you have a really really big BNI, then it could work. The chamber is a community where it's not like, hey, you have to pass this referral. Hey, you have to do your one-on-one. Hey, you have to do your education moments. It's you show up and you network with people. I just think it's an easier networking situation that has worked for me. Again, BNI could work for some people a lot better because it's more structure. So I would say, yeah,
Like,
it's different for everyone, man. What
yeah.
are you part of a networking group?
I'm not
You know?
consistently. Yeah. I've tried to do the networking groups. It's
Mhm.
just it's hard. I don't have
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
especially for the consistent ones. Like I'll show up to networking stuff when I can.
Hmm.
Um, but just like you, I've had a lot of success with
Yeah.
social media. The big thing for me is just word of mouth too. And I don't want to say this because I don't want people to listen to this and think you should rely on word of mouth because you
Yeah.
shouldn't.
No.
But when you do a really, really good job and you have a niche market, people talk. A
Yep.
lot of roofers know each other and a lot of realtors know each other. So my goal is, hey, I just want to come into this project
Mhm.
and absolutely crush it, absolutely dominate what
Yeah.
their other company was doing before, um, and make it undeniable that they should work with me going forward. I'm not the cheapest.
Heck yeah.
Uh, by a long shot. But I do think we provide the best service. I have a lot of conviction with that. So, I've really just focused on doing a really good job and then people talk.
Yeah.
And that's helped me get a lot of business.
I think you're the only solar company that has mats on a roof. I
Yeah.
saw a post about that and I love that. You protect the roof with mats and I think that's awesome, man.
Well, anytime we're out at a project, I understand that we're a representation of you
Yeah.
guys. So, like my guys have solar R&R hats on. They
Mhm.
have solar R&R shirts. My trucks have solar R&R on it. But we're still representing Red Rock. We're still representing whatever roofing company
Yeah.
that has us out at their project to remove and reinstall their solar panels. So we want to represent you guys well. And, a new roof can easily get scuffed up,
Yeah.
especially in July when
Oh
it's 100 degrees outside. So, yeah, we're not just focused on being efficient, doing a good job, but also, hey, we got to protect their investment because a roof's not
Correct.
cheap.
No.
What would you say the average roof you sell costs?
Anywhere 13 to 50,000 in that
Yeah.
ballpark, right?
Yeah, so like an average of
So,
$30,000.
yeah.
That's not a cheap investment.
Oh, it's not a cheap
And
investment.
so if we're walking up there and it's 100 degrees outside,
Mhm.
it's going to easily get scuffed up. So we do a lot of things to really protect
No.
the roof and their investment.
Well, and you guys are so flexible. Like, I'm able to call you whenever and you answer your phone and you're like, hey, I need this refund by Wednesday. There's solar. Can you get it off on Monday? Within 30 to 40 minutes, you have an answer like, yes, we can do it. So that's what I love about you guys because there's most, solar companies don't answer their phone right away or they're too busy. Like, oh, you got to wait 3 weeks. But you guys are just so dialed in on your
Yeah.
processes. So I love it.
Yeah. I'm a big Alex Hermosi fan. You'll probably hear this in most of my podcasts.
Okay.
But he talks about 4 core things that you can excel in as a business
Yeah.
to get more business. The first two, I'm not. I'm not the cheapest,
Mhm.
and I haven't been around the longest, so I don't have the longest standing reputation. The two areas where I do very much focus on and excel in is quality.
Mm.
All of my guys are really well trained. We just do really good work.
Nice.
We don't have a lot of callbacks.
Good.
You work in construction, things happen.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not perfect, and I
No.
don't want to make it sound like we're this perfect company that never makes a mistake. We've made plenty, but really focus on quality more so than a lot of other companies. And then the other one is speed.
Mm.
Um, I can be the quickest to the punch a lot of the time. I'm flexible.
Yep.
I'm willing to physically show up to my projects as the business owner to make things happen, to make things stay on schedule. Um, and a lot of people just aren't willing to do that. They're not able to be quick. A lot of companies are 4 weeks out. You do
Yep.
real estate transactions. You can't be 4 weeks out
No.
on a roof.
We can put on a roof within 3 days. That's how
Yeah.
fast our permit processes are. We're dialed in with all the cities. So when literally the other day, hey, their closing's on Thursday. I got it signed today. Last night. Solar's coming off on Monday. We're installing the roof on Wednesday. They're able to close on time. So again, I think our partnership and what you've done for Red Rock is just outstanding.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate you,
man.
Austin. Yeah. I appreciate you, man. So I want to get back into you. Talk to me about this personal brand you've
Yeah.
built. What made you start putting yourself out there? And was that hard? Because for
Yeah.
me, it's like I really, really want to start putting myself out there on
Yeah.
social media. And I see it's a way to get a ton of business. I mean,
Yeah.
you've had a lot of success from it. I've seen a lot of other people have a lot of success. But holding up a camera,
Yeah.
putting it in front of your face every single day consistently and
Yeah.
talking about things
Yeah.
isn't easy.
No.
A lot of people have fear of judgment. So how did you get started with
Yeah.
social media, and was that hard for you at first?
I met a guy named Rob.
Okay.
If you guys don't know, I think Rob and I post every 2 days together. Um, Rob was the one why I got started in the camera thing. I used to just put tags on like, hey, you need your roof inspected. Look for these 3 signs. He was the one who kind of we met at a Starbucks. We got connected on social media. We went to the Broomfield Chamber and then we just connected like that. But that really got me going. His motivation, what he's done with his social media for 7 years of consistent video content of camera in his face talking about things has worked well for him. So I was like, you know what, I could do that. Obviously, the first couple videos there was like, oh, it's not perfectly lined up, but I think the raw content's the best because people don't want to see a perfect video. They want to see where you're on the go, or you're roofing, so they see you're doing something. So yeah, I would say Rob was a big inspiration on that. And shout out Rob again. If you guys don't know Rob Murray, man, his social media is dialed in, and if you need help with social media, that's the guy to talk to.
I think authenticity really sells.
Yeah.
You know, people, I don't know, people are just craving authenticity. I mean, AI can create a video for you in seconds,
Yeah.
and it can look like you, can even kind of sound like you,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not you.
Yeah.
And I think now more than ever, people are just really wanting authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can pull out your camera and just be authentic, even if you stumble, I stumble my words all the time. You
Yeah.
probably hear me stumble my words on this
Same.
podcast.
Yeah.
But you just got to be authentic. You
Yeah.
got to be raw. And I feel like you've really just been authentically
Yeah.
Austin.
No one's perfect, right? If you're perfect, then there's something wrong, right? I like I said, I think if you're trying to grow your business, and like you said, you gotta get on the camera, and it's free, man. You don't have to pay anyone. You just get a stand, hold up your camera, and talk about something. And that's what I love about social media because you don't have to pay for it. Anything content wise, obviously, if you hire someone for like drone work or anything like that, then you'll pay for it. But this is free, man. So I use it every single day. Yeah.
Do you think a lot of roofers sleep on that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. They're so focused on hailstorms. Oh, we didn't get hail. Should we chase to another state? Um, right here, man. It's Colorado. You have a community that wants to connect with you, and I would never go jumping in states to chase hail. I would rather build, through the community,
Mm.
and I think that's a big reason why of my success today is because I have, put myself in the community on Nextdoor, helping people out, and it's awesome, man. Besides the video content and all that.
Yeah. Well, I know I know where you're at now, and I know what you're
Yeah.
currently doing. Where does Austin wanna be? You know, what and it doesn't have to be like this 5-year vision or anything
Yeah.
like that, but do you do you have kinda goals
Mm.
and dreams outside of what you're currently doing? Do you have a vision for where you wanna take your life?
Yeah. For a while I was thinking about starting my own roofing company. You probably knew that. And what I was doing. But at the end of the day, I'm all about loyalty. I was nothing when I came into the roofing industry. I was nothing when I met Steve. I was nothing when I met Jim. And so I want to give back to who helped me out. So I'm committed to Red Rock. I'm going to grow Red Rock with them. And I think I just want to be here forever, man. I don't want to be a business owner. Maybe it would be nice, maybe, but I just want to keep doing me, man.
Yeah.
You know.
I talk about this a lot, and I talked about it on my last podcast, but I think too many people get way overexcited about entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Like, they get a little bit of success or they kinda learn the fundamentals, and then they're
Hmm.
like, "Hey, I'm gonna just go start my own business."
Yeah.
And that's just not always the best thing to
No.
do. I mean, you're absolutely crushing it. You're
Yeah.
making more money than most business owners that I
Yeah.
know, um, and you're doing it without a ton of risk.
Yeah.
Steve has to worry about a lot more than you do. You
Yeah.
can focus on your craft and keep building your craft, and
Yeah.
who knows where business will take you. Eventually you may
Yeah.
start a company. You're more than capable.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it's smart, man. I see a lot of people jump the gun and just want to go start a business because they just had a little sliver of
Mhm.
success. And it's not as easy as it looks. And
Yeah.
so I think you're incredibly wise for making that decision because I don't know, people see social media and
Yeah.
they see the Lamborghinis and they see all
Oh,
this stuff
yeah.
and they're like, that's what I want for my life.
Yeah.
And it's glamorized when it's not always the best decision somebody should make.
Totally agree with that, man. And I just I used to be attracted to that. I was like, "Oh, man, if I had a Lambo, I'd be so much better." It's like I'm content where I'm at. Obviously, every single day I'm gonna grow. And so I'm not like, want to stay here for the rest of my life, but I also want to be part of something that we've, created over the last 4 years that is just beautiful. Like I tell everyone, dude, we're a small company. We're like the Denver Nuggets, man. We have a couple of superstars, but we have a foundation of, people that, some of them don't sell as much, but we need them for other areas. So again, Red Rock's not focused on selling. It's literally developing in the community. And that's why I love it. It's because
Yeah.
it's not pressured to
Yeah.
sell. And
Yeah.
that's why we thrive. Seriously.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think about this often, but like, so I'm originally from the Chicagoland
Yeah.
area. Um, and you look at the Chicago Bulls and you just think Michael Jordan,
Hmm.
you know, but it wasn't just Michael Jordan that created that success. He's the biggest name and he may have been the biggest contributor
Yeah.
per se, but Scottie Pippen. There was a lot of other people on that team that contributed to the success that
Yeah.
maybe aren't talked about as much, but it takes a team effort to create success. It's not
Yep.
just about one person on the team.
Exactly.
Everybody has to contribute.
Mhm.
And I think too many people want that spotlight. They want to
Yeah.
be the guy that like, hey, they want to be known as Michael Jordan. But you don't
Yeah.
always have to be. Like
No.
you can be Scottie Pippen. You could be Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
Um,
Imagine having 7 Michael Jordans on a team, bro.
Yeah, it wouldn't
It wouldn't
work.
work. It wouldn't grow. It wouldn't work.
Yeah,
And my mindset was like, oh, I want to be part of like sales hungry. Like I want to just crank with all these top end performers. But I can guarantee you that culture with 7 Michael Jordans is so toxic.
yeah,
So
it's not gonna work. So, I know the vision, um, and I know you're gonna achieve your goals. I mean,
yeah.
you're an extremely driven individual, um, but you work a lot, you really grind, a lot more than most people your age because 'cause you're
I just turned 25.
25.
Yeah.
Um, to be able to do that consistently for an extended period of time,
Yeah.
it's gotta be beyond you. There's gotta be a big why behind it. Tell me about your why. Why do you do what you do?
I think it's my kid, man. I don't want to get emotional, but dude, I love my daughter to death, and I would do anything for her, just to show her that when you're young, you can do it. I had one of my buddies called me. She's 19 years old. She's gonna have a kid, and her whole family is just beating her down. like,
Mm.
oh, you're not going to be nothing. You can't do this. And dude, that, when you have a kid, man, it just wants to push you to be hard. And I want to show, little Miss Autumn, like, I did it when I was 19. I did it when I was 20. I skipped all that partying. I got rid of a couple of friendships that didn't make sense for me to, succeed. I was able to buy a house 2 years ago. I'm trying to buy another one next year. So it's like I can, be that influence for her so she'll follow that path. So the why is my kid, man. I love my daughter.
That's awesome, Austin. Yeah, I see that in you, man. I
Yeah.
can tell you just want to be a good man,
Yeah.
set a good example. It's not about the money for you, is it?
No. Money doesn't solve happiness, right? You could have all the money in the world, and if you don't have your family, man, then why do you have the money? And I constantly remind myself the money is good, right? I wouldn't be in the industry if I didn't make good money, right? The money is amazing. It provides for my family. I'm able to go do fun adventures with her on the weekend. I'm able to create content. I'm able to live a lifestyle that I couldn't imagine I live. But the why is like, I want to give back to the community. I want to show my daughter, you don't need all the nice things to be happy. You have a family that supports you.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Talk to me about work-life balance. I think that's something that I struggle with. I know a lot of other people struggle with. Having a daughter, having Lauren,
Yeah.
how do you manage all the demand you have for roofs? People are hitting you up all the time,
Yeah.
kind of demanding a lot out of you, but you also have a family,
Yeah.
and that demands a lot from you as well.
Yeah.
How do you
Well,
manage that?
I got an Apple Watch for times like that when I'm at the dinner table. If it's not important, I can easily kind of glance because I was starting to notice my kid was like, Daddy, you're always on your phone because it's always like this. So now I kind of have this to see if it's important or not. I make Saturdays and Sundays are off limit for work. I do not do anything work related because, my lady told me, Saturdays and Sundays are for the family. Of course, I'll do stuff later at night and I'll answer my phone here and there, but I won't do any inspections. I won't go to any networking events. So Saturday, Sundays are a big family time for us. We go out, you know, Denver Nuggets game, Rockies game, stuff like that. Um, but during the week, I just, if it's important, I have to kind of, balance that. It's hard, right?
Mm.
I'm a busy guy and, I'm the one who provides for the family. So I kind of have to keep that consistent. There isn't a lot of time where I can, slack off. But Saturdays, Sundays are off limits. I don't do anything those days. It's all family related. So
Yeah.
I made that sacrifice.
I think yeah, yeah.
Because you've asked me on Saturdays, like, hey, Austin, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, going garage selling with my
Family.
daughter.
Yeah. No, I have noticed that. And I also love how you said, you make sure you identify what's important.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, does this actually need my attention right now?
Yep.
And I find myself doing that all the time where like I'm looking at emails and it's 8 o'clock at night and I should just be spending time with my wife.
Yeah.
But something gets my attention that isn't a priority. There are certain things sometimes as a business owner, there are fires that I have to put out.
Yeah.
And my wife understands that. But you have to differentiate like, hey, what's important right now? Is the time with my wife,
Hmm.
or in your case, my kid,
Yeah.
more important than this person that wants a response right away? They can wait until the morning.
Yep.
And so I like how you really differentiate like, hey, what's truly important right now?
Yeah.
Is it the time with my family or is it this text
Yeah.
message that I got that really doesn't need to be responded to right away?
Yeah. If you know me, I don't do any networking past 8. I've made that a firm thing. I'd rather be at home with Lauren or, my kids. So
Yeah.
I recently just changed that. Before I was doing a couple of that. I'm like, what am I doing here drinking vodka Sprites with people that, it's just, we're all drinking. It's not valuable. So any
Yeah.
networking after 8 p.m., I cut it off. I don't want to be part of it unless it's like a Nuggets game, of course. But
Yeah. That's smart, man. You have to
yeah.
have those boundaries.
Yeah.
Um, just a few more things I want to talk about. I saw you posted on your social media not too long ago that you had your daughter, you got in roofing. Somewhere along the way, you found God and you built a relationship
Yeah.
with God. Talk to me about faith and maybe how that's shifted a little bit,
Yeah.
how you do business and how you maybe even run
Yeah.
your family.
So I didn't get into that until I met Steve. Steve is a Christian. Um, like I said, I came into the roofing industry just I was a teenage kid, wasn't mature. He got me into the flat irons. I started going every Sunday. I try to go every Sunday. I'm a little inconsistent. I could get better at that. And it's just It opens your eyes to a whole nother world of like, you sit down, you listen to these scriptures. It's like, it's so beautiful. Like, seriously, like, I think, I wouldn't be in the place I would without Steve and him mentoring me through fatherhood at such a young age. Like, that guy will literally put away everything for his daughter. He'll go to church with her, he'll do all these things for her. And so I truly believe he's the one who got me to be a better father in that realm.
Mhm.
And he brought me closer to, God and the church and everything like that. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. It's incredible to have,
Yeah.
you know, a boss,
Yeah.
that doesn't just care about you professionally,
Correct.
and that's something that I'm really trying to do for my team
Mhm.
is, hey, I don't just want to be there for you professionally.
Mhm.
I want to see you grow personally as well. I do, I have a small team, and so I do
Yeah.
truly care about the people on my team, but I want to get better with leading with that. Like, hey, obviously, I want you to grow in your role. I want you to
Yeah.
get better at what you do, and I want to help you get there. But like, I also want my employees to be
Yeah.
healthy. I want them to have a relationship with God. I want them to be happy if they can, if I can help them just be better with their family.
Yeah.
And I think a really good leader is able to do that. Um, not just help somebody professionally, but help them personally. And it
Yeah.
sounds like Steve's done that for you.
And you know Steve, that guy, he would drop anything to help anyone out. And like I said, he has kind of mentored me into the dad I am today.
Mm,
I didn't have a father figure in my life. I was adopted and stuff like
mm,
that. So he's kind of just helped me out, man. Like, seriously, he made me who I am today. I
mm,
would not be who I am today without Red Rock or Steve. It's truly inspiring what, over the years and who you meet, what they can do for you in the future. So
mm.
super grateful.
That's awesome, man. So, Austin, I always like to close out with
Yeah.
this. You've got a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
Um, And again, dude, like you've got some high goals. I know you're gonna achieve them. I know you're gonna just continue to become a better father,
Yeah.
a super high producer, and eventually you're probably gonna start your own company one of these days. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
You're capable to do
Yeah.
so. I think you're on the right path though, and I love the loyalty to Red Rock.
Yeah.
It's a great company, and you're truly, truly contributing to the success of the company.
Yeah.
You're not just somebody that shows up every day. You're somebody that wants to help grow the company, and you're going to see a lot of fruit from that.
Yeah.
I know that you're going to be rewarded from that. And Steve's a good guy. And I know that eventually, if Red Rock sells or whatever,
Yeah.
um, you're going to get something from that.
Yeah. Definitely.
But if you could give one piece of advice to somebody getting started in sales,
Yeah.
somebody that is maybe working at Amazon right now and just wants that shift for their life, what is that one piece of advice you would give them?
Um, Capable of more. Like, a lot of people will tell you, oh, you can't do that without a degree. Oh, you can't do that. You don't have this. You just got to put your mind first. You got to be in a room with, people that care about you, and you can do anything. Like, seriously, I didn't think I could do sales. I didn't think I could, do, meet all these people, do commercial roofs all of a sudden. It's just who you surround yourself with. So I always tell people, like, if people are bringing you down or a negative, just get away from that, you know, attract people, like-minded people. So never give up. Seriously, that's
Yeah.
something I tell myself every day. You may have it hard right now, but figure out a way to kind of get away from that and meet people that are, are high achievers. That's what I did. I met someone that's a high achiever, a great father, and knows how to lead, not just sales.
Mm.
So
Well, Austin, it's been an honor having you on the podcast,
appreciate it.
man.
Yeah.
And again, I look forward to seeing all the success.